Finally, I want to update you on the issue of the portions of video missing from a press briefing here on the 2nd of December 2013. As you know, this is something we've talked about before. I promised you that I would update you when we had completed our review. We've done that, so if you'll bear with me, I'll give you what I have. As you know, when this matter came to light, many of us, including Secretary Kerry, had concerns and questions as to how and why this had happened. And so, at the Secretary's request, the Office of the Legal Advisor spent the last several months looking deeper into the issue. All told, they have spoken with more than 30 current and former employees at all levels of seniority, and they've gone through emails and other documents to see what information might be available. They've now compiled their findings and a description of their process into a fact-finding review, which has been provided to the Secretary. We're also sharing it today with Congress and the Inspector General. Here's the bottom line. We are confident the video of that press briefing was deliberately edited. The white flash that many of you have noticed yourselves in that portion of the video is evidence enough of human involvement. Indeed, a technician came forward, recalled making the edit, and inserting that flash. What we were not able to determine was why the edit was made in the first place. There's no evidence to suggest it was made with the intent to conceal information from the public. And while the technician recalls receiving a phone call requesting the edit, there is no evidence to indicate who might have placed that call or why. In fact, throughout this process, we learned additional information that could call into question any suggestion of nefarious activity. In addition to the fact that the full video was always available on Divots and that the full transcript was always on our website, the video was edited in a choppy manner, which made it obvious that footage was missing. We also found that the video likely was shortened very early in the process, only minutes after the briefing concluded, and well before the technician who recalled making the edit believes the request was made to make the edit. And in any event, before the technician would have been involved in the video production process. It is possible the white flash was inserted because the video had lost footage due to technical or electrical problems that were affecting our control room servers around that time. Finally, we have confirmed that even if the video was edited with intent to conceal, there was no policy in place at the time prohibiting such an edit. So upon learning that, I think you know, I immediately put a policy in place to preclude that from ever happening. We will also be consulting now with the National Archives and Record Administration about whether any changes to our disposition schedules should be made to address the press briefing videos. Disposition schedules are rules governing official record keeping. The current disposition schedule notes that the written transcript is a permanent record. Now, I understand that these results may not be completely satisfying to everyone. I think we would all have preferred to arrive at clear and convincing answers. But that's not where the evidence or the memories of so many employees about an event which happened more than 2.5 years ago have taken us. We have to accept the facts as we have found them, learn from them, and move on. The Secretary is confident that the Office of the Legal Advisor took this task seriously, that they examined it thoroughly, and that we have indeed learned valuable lessons as a result. For my part, I want to thank them as well for their diligence and professionalism. We are, and I think we will be, going forward, a better public affairs organization for having worked our way through this. With that, take questions.
All right. Well, before we move on to Syria, let's finish up this videotape episode, or at least dig into it a little bit more. Can you remind me, just from that lengthy statement, you think it was not nefarious because it was done badly and because it was done quickly? Is that the essential argument?
I said that we aren't sure whether it was done with intent to conceal or whether it was done as a result of a technical problem. The bottom line is, Brad, it was inconclusive. Some of the additional information that does lead us to think that a glitch is possible here is because of the choppy nature of the cut, which is when we do daily briefings, we always cut the top and the bottom, right? So we have an ability to do editing on at the beginning and the end of a briefing. Obviously, we have to do that. And we have procedures in place to do that in a nice, smooth, clear, very deliberate way, so that when we post the video of today's briefing, it looks like a totally encompassed, very professional product. So we have the ability to do this in a very professional way. This cut was not done that way. It was done in a choppy fashion that's not consistent with the way we typically do that. I'm not saying that that means for sure it was the result of an electrical problem. I'm just saying that it certainly gives us pause, and we have to think about that. The other aspect of this is the timing. So roughly 18 minutes after the briefing was concluded, the video that was uploaded was shorter than the actual briefing itself, which would convey that a cut of some kind was made very, very quickly after the briefing, sooner than when the technician remembers, much sooner actually, than when the technician remembers getting a phone call asking for the cut to be made. So again, we may be dealing with a memory issue. Maybe that's inconsistent, or maybe there was there could have been a technical problem that caused the video to automatically be shortened when it was first uploaded so quickly, 18 minutes after the briefing, which is pretty fast. So it's not impossible or inconceivable that there was an intent to conceal information. In other words, nefarious intent here. We're not ruling that out. But we also cannot, based on the evidence that we have gained, rule out the possibility that there was some technical problem, and then to make it known that a cut had been made, a white flash was inserted.
But there were no technical problems on the other videos that still exist.
Right, but they don't.
If that were the case, don't you think someone would come and admit that, rather than nobody of the 30 witnesses you interview can actually remember what happened? It seems like such a ridiculous explanation. It shocks me that you're actually providing it here. But okay.
Okay, is that a question, or you just want to berate me?
Well, no, John, I just think it's really strange that you're saying that. I think someone would remember if it were a technical glitch. And how could you say there's a technical glitch? There's a possibility of that when there's no other evidence of those glitches on the other videos that exist.
I'm saying I can't rule it out, Justin. There's also no evidence that anybody did this with a deliberate intent to conceal. We just don't know. And I understand. Look, as I said at the end of my lengthy statement, that I understand that the inconclusive nature of the findings is not going to be all that satisfying to you. It wasn't all that satisfying to the rest of us. You don't think that we would like to know exactly what happened, but we just don't. They interviewed more than 30 current and former employees. They looked at emails and records, and there simply wasn't anything to make a specific conclusion here.